Good morning. Today we're going to be doing an unboxing. I've purchased a Lee 6-pack Pro. Uh, I've been reloading for a little over 10 years now. I like the Lee products. They've always been very reliable for me, very inexpensive as compared to some of the other reloading stuff out there. And it's pretty much what I cut my teeth on, so I just stuck with it. It was working. It ain't broke, so I didn't try and fix it. I've got friends that have other equipment. I've tried it. I've looked at it. It's, it does the same thing. I'm not real concerned about being a fanboy or anything, and I want to go ahead and go on record and say that I'm not being paid for this. This is just me. I enjoy what I do. Pretty much everything outdoors: hunting, fishing, reloading, shooting, you name it. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and get into this. Show you my reloading bench and reloading area, my room, so to speak, my man cave, and get into the unboxing. So here we go. All right, so this is what it is. This is what I received yesterday. I purchased this Lee 6-pack Pro. I've got several Lee presses that I've used over the years and loaded hundreds and thousands of rounds on each of them. Was looking for a new progressive press. Lee come out with this to, from what I understand, replace the Loadmaster. It's a 6-hole progressive press. So let's get to it. Let's see what we got. I purchased this from Titan Reloading. I've used them for a lot of stuff. They're a really good company. They've done a fantastic job of sending everything out fairly quick as I've ordered stuff from them. So this is it. This is what you see when you open the box. So let's start pulling stuff out of here. I also ordered some extra shell plates and things of that nature. This one here is the 30 carbine, and let's see what else we got here. We got 44 mag. This is 40 Smith & Wesson 9mm 38 Super. The instruction manual for the Pro kit. We'll get into this here in a little bit. This is the bullet feeder tubes and your primer catcher tubes. Another shell plate. This is 30-06 308 45 ACP. And the last shell plate is 38 Special. Now I ordered this as a kit. It came already set up for 223. It's got the dies and stuff in here also. Of course, this is our loaded round catcher. This will mount to the press or to the bench. Various pieces, parts, primers, case feeder. This is the new Lee powder auto drum. I've got this on my my Loadmaster. It's a great great powder measuring device. The one of the cool things about this is you can actually take this bottle off a lot of your powders, it'll just screw right to the top of it. So you can take and just use this as your powder reservoir. There's a little window here you can see where when you're running low on powder, it's actually a pretty good powder measure. All right, as I said, this one come already set up for 223. Open up the die set here that we've got. It already comes with resizing lube. Of course, this is your dies that is set up. They've got the breech lock inserts already. You got a shell plate that comes with it in case you want to reload on a single stage press. We'll get more into this once we get the press set up. All right, again, this is your auto drum. This comes automatically. It's set up with your pistol size drum already installed. Again, there's instructions for everything. Read them. Read everything. But this is a good powder drop. Again, I've got it on my Loadmaster. A lot of people complain about it, saying that they have powder spills and stuff like that. I haven't had that issue yet, but then again, it's fairly new to Lee. I haven't used a lot of it, but I have used it. Loaded several rounds of 38 Special the other night on my Loadmaster with it, and again, didn't have any problems. And here's the meat of the project. This is the Lee 6-Pack Pro. Again, it's already set up to load 223. There's the shell plates already in place. There's some other stuff we have to set up. So once I get to that point, get it set up on the bench, get the bench plate on so I can quick mount it, we'll get back and I'll show you what I've got. All right, so this is what comes in the little bag that comes with it. Again, I haven't read the instructions yet. I'm going to here in just a minute. This looks like the primer, feed, slide, and spring. Again, this is the rifle powder measure for larger caliber stuff. These are really easy to fine tune. This is a ring that goes under the shell plate. It's your primer tray, which from what I understand, is fairly simple. I've never used this one yet. Don't want to break it again. I want to read the instructions more before I start messing with this stuff. Opens up, pour your primers in, shake them, lock it, and then once it's locked, you leave it in that position there. None of your primers will fall, and then you turn it on, they fall down into the primer feed. Case feeder. This is something also new from other progressive presses that Lee has done. This is both your large and small primer or case feeder. Basically all you do is once you get it set up, you swap from one side to the other depending on which size case you're using. Larger cases have this little plug that's pulled out. You pull the plug out and it starts dropping them. Of course, they won't feed through the smaller case hole. Anyway, this is set up on the press. And once I get the instructions read and everything, I'll show you how it works. Other various tools that come with it. There's an Allen wrench here. I'm not sure really what all they're used for yet. This is your lock wrench for your dies. The keys for your auto drum. They come with, basically you put it in there and you can turn it in and out to adjust your powder drop. Comes with a nice neat little spot to put it to where you don't lose it with your drums. So you come with 2 keys. One can go in each drum. They're both the same size, so they don't really matter. So yeah, once I get the directions read, I'll get back with you and we'll set it up. I want to do some 45 ACP. I'm not really wanting to do any 223 today, but we'll get it set up and go from there. So I've got the press set up. I'm running a few cases through it now, making a few rounds. Everything seems to be good. I've measured everything. I'm getting around a 1.2 to a 1.199. Minimum case overall length for the load that I'm loading right now is 1.190. So always follow your load data. Always follow your specs in your loading manuals. So far the press is running great. I have noticed a couple of things. The primer system on here is not something that I'm used to. You got to pay attention to it really, really close to make sure that you don't miss a primer, or that the primer arm is seated all the way into the primer carrier, the primer arm carrier. I guess I got that right, but anyhow, always be sure you go completely up and completely down with the press as you're reloading. If you don't, you'll get light primer seats. You know, you won't seat the primer all the way in. That's a bad thing. This press primes as you come on your downstroke with the carrier. As you come up with the carrier, of course, it advances your shell plate and stuff, and the indexer and what have you. Also charges you powder. So just be aware that there's a lot of things going on all at one time that you have to pay attention to. So I'm going to run a few more rounds through here and show you how the press works. There are some glitches that I've found that I'm hoping go away with as the press gets more broke in. The shell carrier seems to want to, I don't know really what it's doing. It may be the way I've got the primer feed or the shell case feed set up. I may have to redo that. But it seems like it's not pushing the case in all the way. Sometimes it only happens like every 4th or 5th case. Just pay attention to it. It may be something I've done in the way I've set it up. But again, read all the directions. It should tell you everything you need to know. So here we go. Let's load a couple more and we'll close this video out. All the way down, all the way back up. And right there at the top of that upstroke with your handle, you fill the primer seat in the next case. Put the next bullet on there, all the way down, all the way back up. And again, be sure you go all the way down, all the way up. If you don't, you get primer pockets, primers that aren't seated correctly. You don't get, you may get a short charge on your powder. Just be aware of what's going on and keep an eye on everything. Don't let yourself get distracted. Again, I'm not an expert at reloading. I don't claim to be. I've only been doing it about 10 years, and I'm still learning what's going on, what to use, how to do it. This is a brand new press to me, so I'm still learning yet. I like it so far. I really do, and I want this press to be as problem-free as I've been able to get my Loadmaster. Just because it offers you so much more that you can do. You can put the powder check die, bullet through seating die. I'll probably only load pistol calibers with this press because of the bullet feed and powder check, and do my bulk rifle on my Loadmaster. So we'll run a couple more. I do need to get me a chair that doesn't have rollers on the bottom of it. Once you get done, as your cases feed through your collator and case feeder, you get to the end, basically just rotate the tubes here, and it will advance to your next set of Again, I'm watching to make sure I've got primers. Alright, so that's the last case in that round. You just advance it and continue on. You can reload a lot of ammo really quick once you get this thing set up. I've noticed everything runs great. Make sure you've got a good reloading table, or you will have bowing issues and stuff like that. So I've had the Lee 6-Pack Pro now for about a week, not quite a week yet, and I've reloaded about 1,000 rounds of different types of ammo, some 45 ACP, some 357, some 9mm. The press works great. I don't have any issues with it. There's nothing that I've come across that would lead me to believe that this is going to be a problem child press. I do know that if you get this press, you're going to want to get some extra bushings for the breech lock. I ordered these. They're 4-pack. They're anodized aluminum. They don't have a locking ring. In fact, you don't even have to have the locking ring. It doesn't have the O-rings like the one that comes set up factory from it does. These actually have an Allen screw that you tighten up and lock your dies into place. Once you do that, if you like I am, you've got several different calibers that you load. You can take and just, basically it's a quarter turn. It comes out, you change it just by putting it back in. It's set up to the last specs that you had on when you were reloading. So you're still going to have to do a little bit of tweaking when you get them put back in. But if you're reloading the same ammo over and over and over and over again, and you know that's the ammo you want, you're shooting targets, whatever, just quick change. The only issue I have is Lee sends these little short bullet feeder tubes, or excuse me, not bullet feeder, case feeding tubes, that when they're in the case feeder, the collator sits right on top of your powder. I've got some of the older case feeder tubes that are longer. As you can see, it sits it up just right, nice over the top of the powder drop. Now, one other thing I do want to say, with this particular powder drop, you can take certain powders and it just fits right onto the nozzle. Two good things about this. One, there's a little window right here that you can see the powder, so you can tell when it's getting low. Two, you don't have to worry about remembering which powder you were using, especially if you're loading and don't have time to change or to put the powder back in the box you were using. Because as you can tell, I load for many different calibers and different loads. This works out great. I don't know yet if they sell just this attachment by itself. I'll have to look. These are fairly new powder drops to me. If they do, I'm just going to buy several more of these and not the little small tubes, because I don't think I'll need these anymore. That works great. It's one of the plus to the new powder drops that Lee has come out with. Again, I want to state that I am not paid in any way, shape, form, or fashion by Lee. They just put out a good product. I like their products. You got some reloading snobs out there, and I've got friends that do the same thing. They rib me about having the little cheap Lees. Well, I've had my single stage press, which was the first thing I started with, for it's over 10 years, and I've loaded hundreds of thousands of rounds with it. So yeah, they're great presses. I haven't had any issues with any of them. Lee's come out with this one, the 6-Pack Pro, this past year. It's to replace the Loadmaster, and they hit a home run with it. It works great. I enjoy it. So if I have any issues that come up later, I'll address them. But all in all, I'm very satisfied with it. So if you want one, the Lee 6-Pack Pro is available online from several different retailers. If you can find them, they're kind of in short supply right now. I got this one from Titan Reloading. They're a great company out of Missouri. Shipping's fairly reasonable. Their prices are reasonable. Granted, they're not the cheapest out there, but a lot of times you can find stuff there that you can't find other places. So that's about all I have for this video. Thank you for watching. Stay safe.